So you think about signing up for a martial arts class. Maybe you're looking for self-defense, or maybe just a new way to get in shape. But what do you really find when you walk through that door? Today, we're gonna dive into the real experience of learning an art like Kung Fu San-Soo, and we're hearing it straight from the students themselves. Turns out, it's a journey that goes way, way deeper than just learning how to fight.
And this quote right here from a student named Penelope, it just perfectly captures what we're talking about. It's not just about the moves, it's about discovering things about yourself. And this idea, this theme of inner transformation, is something we're gonna see over and over again.
All right, so let's start at the very beginning. What's that first spark that gets someone to sign up? Let's dig into why people decide to take that first step and what they're actually expecting when they begin.
You know, the reasons people start are often super relatable. Take a student like Matt B, for example. He wanted practical self-defense. He points out that just being a tall guy isn't much of an advantage against a weapon or someone who's just plain stronger. Others just want to be more aware, or hey, challenge themselves with something new and get in better shape. Pretty standard stuff, right? Makes total sense. This is square one.
But then, almost right away, this huge dose of humility kicks in. Matt put it perfectly. He said he quickly got a sense for how little I really know. Suddenly, that initial goal is just dwarfed by how incredibly deep the art is. It's that first real clue that this journey is going to be way more profound than they ever thought. And that realization, well, that's what leads us to the real heart of the experience. The training starts to change not just the body, but the mind. This is where the really amazing stuff starts to happen.
Wow, this quote from DJ is just so powerful, isn't it? It's the absolute essence of that inner shift. He talks about being nervous at first, feeling all this pressure to be perfect, but with patient practice, he actually learned to trust his body and his mind, and he completely flipped that self-doubt on its head. It's just an incredible testament to the psychological power of this whole process.
So here you can really see this amazing contrast between what you expect to happen and what actually happens. I mean, everybody goes in hoping for the physical benefits, getting stronger, better balance, just like Penelope and Matt talked about, but it's the mental transformation that really changes their lives. We're talking more confidence, more patience, and this deep fundamental trust in themselves that just wasn't there before.
But look, this kind of transformation doesn't happen without a few bumps in the road. And talking to the students, a really common challenge popped up. A specific practical obstacle that really tests their memory, their coordination, and probably most of all, their patience.
And that challenge is called the A-Sus. You can basically think of these as the ABCs of the art. They're these numbered sets of self-defense moves that everything else is built on. You've got to know them, period. But learning them, well, that's a whole different story.
And man, the struggle is universal. Riley, Jaden, Sanetha, Cameron, pretty much everyone said they mixed them up. Matt described it as ending up with a bastardized amalgamation of a form, because the moves look so similar. The sequences all start to blur together, you forget where your feet are supposed to go, and like Calvin said, some of the movements just feel totally unnatural at first. I can only imagine how frustrating that must be.
So, what's the secret to getting past this? Well, it's a mix of smart strategies and just plain old hard work. Riley figured out that practicing with a partner gives you that instant feedback you need. Jaden got clever and used his phone to record himself. And for Penelope, the key was just repetition, 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 until that awkward feeling finally turned into muscle memory.
Okay, so this is where it all starts to pay off outside of the studio. Because once you learn these lessons, they don't just stay on the mat. They start creeping into every part of a student's daily life.
And this right here just nails that crossover perfectly. Jaden says that people have started telling him there's something different about him, and he knows it's because of the confidence and focus he's gained. This is that moment where the training stops being a hobby, it actually becomes part of who you are.
And it's the little details that are so incredible. Jonathan T talks about using head stretches from class to get rid of tension at his desk, or just using his shoulders to walk with more confidence. Catherine B noticed she wasn't getting winded walking up hills anymore. And maybe the craziest sign of all? Calvin K realized the lessons were sinking in when he had a dream about using class techniques. I mean, the training is literally becoming part of his subconscious.
So, after all that, how do the students actually feel about their own progress? Let's take a look at how they grade themselves and what that tells us about this journey that never really ends. Their self-assessments are all over the map, which is so interesting. You've got Riley and DJ who are feeling good, giving themselves an A because they're learning fast and getting the form right. But then you have Matthew V, who gives himself a mid-B, and he's honest about it. He's not failing, but man, it can be a struggle. And Calvin K gives himself a 70, making this really smart distinction between knowing what to do and actually doing it well.
And that really brings us to the most important point of all. The grade itself doesn't really matter. What matters is the self-reflection. Every single one of these students, no matter what grade they gave themselves, shows this incredible awareness of where they are and this commitment to getting better. That's the real sign of growth.
And that leaves us with one final thought, kind of inspired by Jonathan T's reflections. In any big learning journey, whether it's a martial arts, an instrument, a new language, whatever, where's the real sweet spot? Is it in mastering the practical technique, getting it absolutely perfect? Or is it in the person we become while we're trying to get there? It's a question we're thinking about for any path we decide to take.